Hi there, my name's Elaine Harding and I am the director at Capilaux. And today we've decided we're going to talk about the topic of working from home. So I'm joined here by Johnny Marriott. Johnny, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much, Elaine. For those that may have missed the previous podcast we've recorded, so I am Johnny Marriott. I've just graduated from the University of Winchester, did a master's in digital marketing and analytics. Like Elaine said, we just thought we'd jump on today and just have a general chat around working from home. So I guess, Elaine, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, well, I have, so I've been a recruiter for many years and working from home has always been a topic that I really push with my clients because the talent pool that you're recruiting for is so much bigger when, you allow people to work from home because you're not restricted by geography. But that said, not many people would adopt it. You'd get some, but really, the office environment was always something that was enforced because, that's how things have always been done. And the fear of letting that happen and losing that control of your workforce was a real thing. Now, 2020 came along and everyone, you could either stop trading or you had to work from home. And so everybody chose to work from home. And there was a real patriotic camaraderie of like, we're all in this together, let's just make it work. And actually, the feedback and surveys that are coming out is actually, it's worked a lot better and a lot more positively than most people ever would have expected. So really, I think it's been quite a success. But now what happens next? Are people coming out of this pandemic? Are people going to be in the office? What does that office look like? What do people want to gain from that office experience? And I guess, Johnny, as someone that's, fresh out of studying your master's, you have some office experience, but really, as a candidate coming fresh out of uni in the middle of a pandemic, and you've never really had that professional choice of the kind of working from home, that sort of stuff. What was your expectations coming into the workforce?
Well, to be honest, my expectations were completely blown up, to put it as it is, because I did 15 months like a work placement, working in London and having that like office environment. So I was very much, I guess, prepared for that. And then obviously the pandemic came along, which, like you said, has required everybody just completely change their methods of working. So I guess back in November, September time when I was looking, just as a general, like it was quite dry. There wasn't many vacancies going just because people weren't entirely sure where they were going to be or whether they wanted someone as junior as I was, I guess. So in that sense, it was a little bit difficult. But in terms of what I was expecting, it was either going to be like a 4-day week, working in the office, then just the 1 day at home, or just a split like that. And I think now everyone's sort of come to realize that, okay, we can now trust people to do a good job working from home. So I think now it's completely shifted, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if for the foreseeable future, there will be that flexibility. And I do remember reading an article, I think Microsoft even announced that going forward that they're going to be allowing at least 50% of the working week for their employees to be from home. Because of all the technological advance we've had with Zoom and Microsoft Teams, it's really allowed everyone to sort of come together, I guess.
I think it was Nationwide, sorry to interrupt, I think Nationwide have just said work from anywhere, which, for a big national...
Work on a beach.
Work on a beach, lovely. So
I've got a hotspot on, you're fine.
I think they announced that they'll allow 13,000 of their office staff to choose where they work from in regards to flexibility, like work from anywhere. What a great employer branding tactic or strategy. Like, if I wanted to travel the world, and actually I just had to meet my obligations of, doing the daily tasks that I have to do in a job and still get paid to do it, then what an amazing job. what a amazing way to hit not only your personal goals but your professional goals as well. So I think that's such a massive topic at the moment. And I think, like you've just said, Johnny, the expectation of having that choice is real, not just in people coming out of university, but the people that for the last year that have proved to their employers that they can work from home. If they are still finding that resistance, then if they are still finding that resistance, then really, I think actually a lot of employers that are trying to enforce the working from home structure are going to fall behind and, really lose out and have a lot of staff leaving over the next sort of 12 to 18 months. That would be I don't know, that's kind of what I think, but I might be wrong.
Sure. I think also, just quickly, just jump in again, with the whole sort of commuting thing as well, that if people have got really long commutes, I think in the aerospace in particular, people can be traveling from airport to airport all across the country. And if there's opportunities where you're not required to be in an airport, then that's obviously going to be a bonus. And even my own personal experience, commuting from a small village in Surrey up into London, Waterloo every day, it soon became a slog. And, you sit on a train for, up to 2.5 hours a day there and back, like just in a day. And if you do the maths quickly, in a month, that's a lot of time just sat on a train, which can be quite scary and a bit depressing. And you want to be productive and you want to be, proactive, but sometimes you finish at 6 o'clock and you just think, I just want to be done for the day, and you just want to chill out and watch a Netflix series, or that's what I found I did, and I've completed so many. Whereas now we have the opportunity, as soon as you're finished, you can just get out your seat and you're at home. And I think having that choice and that flexibility is so important going forward.
I think that's a good point, as the choice element, because I think really if people are saying, is there going to be a fully working from home environment, or is it going to be back to the office 9 to 5? I think the reality for most people is going to be that it's somewhere in between. I think that there is still a real advantage to being in the same room as someone. And, you do get people that work from home where it's just not appropriate or suitable for them. They might have a busy family and have kids, running around the house. And there's just too many people at home for you to concentrate on your work. So you'd prefer to have that office space. And then also you might want that social interaction as well. So I guess really what employers are going to have to look at is, what is the point of the office? Is it okay to come into the office and sit there and chat to your employees, or not just to chat to your employees, but chat to your co-workers about different things? Like, are you there to socialize, or are you there to sit and prove that you're working? I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess on that point, with sort of training and collaboration and things, it soon becomes, again, a bit of a question mark. So for me, who's still relatively new into the marketing game, if I had someone stand next to me, I could just ask them a quick question. Is this how am I doing this right? I'm like, is this sort of thing looking for, etc. Whereas now the communication can be a little bit dubious, I guess, sometimes. But then again, it really makes you proactive and really makes you take your initiative and do your research online and look at your competitors and things like that. So I think, I guess in that sense, it's also quite interesting. But then again, like with training and things, if you're sort of sat in a Zoom call, you're sort of there just like, I'm sort of here just for the sake of it. Whereas if you're in a big room and everyone's, I guess, in a good environment, that allows the discussion to flow a lot better, and there's not that awkward 1 second, 2 second pause where everyone's looking at each other's screens. It's more of an actual conversation, and the training definitely flows a lot better, and it allows better opportunities for asking questions and things. What's your sort of take on that?
Yeah, I would say my take on training, it has to be a bit more structured, and you do miss out on that. Oh, right, it's just this, answering those questions and stuff. Sometimes you'll say things in the workplace that you wouldn't even necessarily even think are questions or are part of you learning. Like, you can be sat across the desk from a colleague that's on the phone, and just by their mannerisms and the way they're talking to clients, you can pick up great ideas and things that they're doing that make you better at communicating as a professional. So there are so many training opportunities that are missed in a working from home environment. However, I think I'm probably a great example of that annoying coworker that asks too many questions. And so I think maybe, so I even was brought a mouse mat that says Google is your friend. And so there are so many resources online that actually you can do a lot of the like training, thinking, and learning online as well. So then you can kind of save those job specific questions to like the next time you talk. So maybe it could be a more efficient way of learning. But that's such a good point. Like training is a new, like learning and how you learn. People are definitely being forced to evolve in a new way when it comes to, you know, learning about their jobs and training. And actually, you, Johnny, you've been completely onboarded from a working from home environment, which has certainly been a new experience for me, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think I guess then going forward, it really has changed the landscape of what employers are going to have to do. I think, you know, once we're finally out of pandemic and it's safe to do so, when everyone starts re-entering the offices, then it will be so interesting to see what companies decide that, okay, we're going to follow in other companies. Are we going to let people have the flexibility, or are we going to be a company that decides, no, we're going to go back to how it was and how it, I guess it's a bit more traditional, whereas now it's completely changed and there's so much like diversity now, I guess, with the strategies that companies will take.
I think it'll be really interesting. I think companies that are going to be enforcing Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, I think their talent pool is going to be, because that now that people have, or employers have had to treat all of their employees as individuals and as humans that, you know, have kids and that have commitments and that they've all struggled through. I think trying to enforce back to a 9 to 5, you're going to get a lot of resistance from staff. And I think you'll probably get quite a high attrition rate for a couple of years to come, just because they've got comfortable kind of having that working from home situation. They miss the office, but I don't think they miss it that much to agree to a Monday to Friday 9 till 5 enforced in the office. I might be wrong. I might be out of touch. I don't work in a big organization anymore. So if you do, and, you know, your employer is enforcing a 9 to 5 and you love it, let us know. If you are running a big organization, you know, let us know what you guys are going to be doing, because we'd love to know. Leave some comments. I think hiring strategies for the future are certainly going to be changing. I think those that are adopting a hybrid or a working from home model will have, it's not going to be about, right, let's look at our talent pool in Greater Manchester or in Southampton. It's going to be, let's look at that talent pool for the skills that we need for this job. Obviously, if it's a job that you can do remotely. And so that could be the people that you need for part of your business might only be in Silicon Valley in California, but actually the opportunity for your business to hire those people is there. And so what an exciting world that we live in. So one of the positives, and I don't think there are that many coming out of a pandemic, is the working from home adoption and technology adoption in the workplace has actually been accelerated. I saw a study, it's been accelerated and pushed forward people's adoption of technology by about 15 years. So you would have, you would have had professionals that would have lived their lives without, you know, ever jumping on a Zoom call. And now they're the first one with a cup of tea in the waiting room. So the adoption of technology, that's, you know, a fantastic thing. And there could be a lot of opportunities for businesses out there if they are willing to, you know, change and evolve and, build the new normal, I guess.
So, I think also, just to jump in again, I guess, I think it's a bit of a cheesy example, but everyone used to look at like the film, The Internship, and which gave like an interesting insight to like what it's like to work at Google. And everyone always pictures like, oh, slides instead of like a slide instead of a share, stairs, and seeing that like vibrant and that like really interesting culture, and now that's becoming like normal. So there's not really many like standout companies that really offer something that's unique. And I think it'd be so interesting to see what happens going forward and what companies are going to do to try and get ahead of competitors in terms of like hiring and things. It'd be so interesting.
Well, yeah, like you mentioned with the internship, they have like, you know, they've got their space beds and they've got all their food, free food,
All the fun stuff.
That was all, that's amazing for the culture of businesses maybe 5 years ago. Now, the employees are kind of like, well, yeah, that's great, but I quite like being able to be at home and, you know, coming and working on my computer and then roll, like 5:30 comes along, desk down, and then they're in their living room catching up on their favorite TV shows or whatever they want to do. And so actually people's expectations, they don't really care. Well, some people probably do. Some people might do, but the snazzy offices with the foosball table or the pool, you know, the pool table, those kind of things are great. But actually, is that now outdated? I guess that's a question that only the next couple of years will answer.
Exactly. Well, it'd be so interesting to see what happens, what companies are going to do to get ahead, what's going to be, I guess, the shift in the way that people are going to do things normally, and who's going to stand out, who's going to fall behind. It'd be so interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely. So I think we can leave it there. Any comments that you have, tell us what you think about your experience of working from home, going back to the office, and what you think is the landscape's going to look like moving forward. We'd love to hear from you.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content that we discussed today, give us a follow. I think the follow button's up there somewhere. And it would be also cool to hear your thoughts down below. So if you drop a comment as well, give it a like, give it a share. We'd love to hear your feedback. And yeah, give us a follow for all more exciting content.
Thank you so much, Johnny. And yeah, I really enjoyed today. So have a great day.